Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. Today, we've got 4 new decks for you and 4 freaking giveaways to tell you about. We are going to do our 10,000 subscriber special video today. Let's get started with an outline, just letting you know what's happening today. So we're starting with a tournament announcement. I'm going to do a special giveaway with that. Then we've got one of the top 5 decks in Marvel Snap exclusively here. Then we've got a special giveaway. Then we've got a deck that is in the top 400 with the lower collection level. Then we've got questions of the day with, you guessed it, more giveaway. A super cool Pixie deck, custom cards with yet another giveaway, a top 5 exclusive deck, and a message to supporters that I hope you like. This is for long-time subs. I found a quote I really like. I want to share it with you. It's at the end of the video, so if you're not interested, you don't have to see it. We all good? Let's go. All right, the Snap Grand Prix is happening April 27th and April 28th. Over that weekend, the first day will be the Swiss, the second day will be cut, which means the first day will be everyone playing each other. The best records go on to the second day for a top 8, top 16, depending on how many people show up. As we do that, it is completely free to enter. You don't have to be a patron. You don't have to be anything else to enter. Over $300 in prizes. This is hosted in collaboration with Snap Judgments, myself and Gunny T, with Tucker, ZalSnap, and Pursuit Gaming. You can get more info on the Snap Judgments League Discord, but I promise to give away 3 people who sign up today and then show up for the tournament. The important part, well, actually, let's do it over 3 days. No, today. 3 people who sign up today and then show up for the tournament will get a gold pass. Got it? You have to sign up today. The sign-up info is on the Snap Judgments League Discord. You can get a free $5 gold pass, which will give you gold every day for the next month. All you have to do is join the Snap Judgments League Discord and then sign up for this free tournament, and then you show up, you check in. I'll have a list of the people who signed up today as this video is airing, and as long as you do so, you'll be entered to win. Giveaway number 1. Next up, we have our first deck. This is Bradley's Kitty Shuri. It is currently the number 4 ranked deck. It's been floating around the top 5. I need my loyal viewers to join me in trying to will Bradley to number 1. It means a lot to him, and it'd be really cool if Bradley, who, if you don't know, is Marvel Snap News on Twitter, who correlates all the different news in the game. If you can share some positive energy with Bradley trying to get to number 1 with this very deck. All right, so you can find Bradley on twitch.tv/Bradley. For this deck, Kitty is required. There is now a package happening in Marvel Snap that is basically Kitty, Elsa, Hope, and Angela. Sometimes those decks cut Angela, but Kitty, Elsa, and Hope are so powerful. They're in an absolute ton of decks. If you don't have Elsa, you replace it with Angela, obviously. You can replace Elsa also with Hulkbuster or Forge, if not that Angela, and it's going to make sense in a minute, I promise. I'm not just telling you, that you could replace Elsa with Angela and then saying, but Hulkbuster Forge. Relax. Jeff could be either Lizard or Medusa, just fine, or it could be, obviously, Hulkbuster and Forge. Red Hulk is worse as Red Skull, but it's a perfectly acceptable deck with Red Hulk in that spot. And finally, Luke and Angela are the big swing spots. So in various versions of this, there's hundreds of games with all of these. Cosmo, Forge, and Hulkbuster are in different versions. Cool? So sometimes it's Cosmo over Luke, sometimes it's Forge and Hulkbuster over the 2 of them, sometimes it's different combinations therein. So you know this deck works, it works in various combinations, and it is real. Which means, if you don't have Elsa, put in Angela, and then you should be fine. And then replace something else. All good? All good. All right, this is the current number 4 on ladder. Again, go Browda. We are rooting very hard for our friend to get number 1. Even if just for a bit, get number 1. Turn 1, Kitty over Nightcrawler. Turn 2, Angela or Armor are generally better than Kitty. Turn 3, Hope is so far and above your priority. Hope is amazing. If you have Shuri and Vision already in hand, it's less important. But most of the time, I really want to get Hope down, because Shuriing Red Hulk is freaking hilarious. If you can Shuri Red Hulk Taskmaster, you're in heaven. Elsa or Kitty and Angela are fine on turn 3. Shuri on Hope is your goal, or Shuri alone is fine if you didn't get Hope. If not, you can drop Elsa and Kitty. Turn 5, Vision on Shuri, or Red Hulk on Shuri, or just Red Hulk wherever the hell you played Armor if you didn't get the Shuri part down. And then turn 6, Taskmaster and Kitty, or Red Hulk. This deck, when it works, puts out as much power as anything. It works as both a sort of like counter to mid-range decks. There's less Shang than ever right now. It works as sort of a counter to mid-range decks while also being able to put up so much power that it can go over the top of silly hella nonsense unless they get the absolute nut. Alright, one last look at this deck. This deck is super cool, super powerful. Again, remember that Angela and Luke are your swing points, and you can also do just fine without Jeff and probably Elsa if you really had to. So that means the high series cards here are really Kitty, Hope Summers, and Red Hulk. So if you have those three, I would be playing this deck. I actually have been playing this deck, and I've had great success. This is extremely powerful. Please hit that sub, like, and comment. The longer you watch these videos, the better you help us grow. We are already at 10,200. Let's make it 11,000. We're trying to get to 20. I mean, we're trying to get as big as we can, we'll be honest, right? But we're trying to get to 20, but we're fighting that YouTube algorithm. That YouTube algorithm really wants to just keep showing you the same Cozy videos over and over again. Much love to Cozy, but the rest of us are trying to breathe. Help us fight that algorithm. Watch the video, sub, like, comment. Watch as long as you can. The longer you watch, the more people get shown this video, the better it is for us. And giveaway. Our friend It's Guest Gaming is doing his Twitch partner giveaway. Guest finally got Twitch partner. Congrats to our homie. He's doing this huge giveaway. And there, you see, over at 18 hours, there are 5 season passes being given away. We are personally going to sponsor that portion of the giveaway and send you to our friend It's Guest Gaming. This giveaway is happening this Thursday. That's tomorrow as of this video's release. So that is happening this Thursday. Now, you can find Guest at twitch.tv/itsguestgaming. All you have to do is watch his, and if you win one of those 5 season passes, you'll get it from us. Now, ready? The ways that the subathon goes along is every sub is plus 2 minutes or $2 donations, 1 Twitch sub, or 20 bits. A follow is an extra 15 seconds. All good? Make sure you check it out. The giveaway for the 18 hours, you don't have to be on at 3 in the morning because 18 hours after 9 a.m. is 3 in the morning. Although Guest will still be streaming. If you're there, that's great. Those winners will be announced in the morning after on Twitter or X, and I'll announce them here too, just in case you missed that announcement. Y'all good? That's 5 season passes and 3 gold passes we're already giving away in this video. We have more giveaways coming. But first, Battle for Justice TCG reached out, climbed from 3,000 to the mid 400s with this very deck, which is a nice deck that you can play if you're not super high collection level, largely because freaking everything that's high series in this deck is replaceable, except sort of Ms. Marvel, but even then you'll be okay if you don't have her. So if you're in Series 3, this is a playable deck. Let's get to the replacements so we can explain how. So, Jeff or Nebula can be Nightcrawler Medusa here. I also like the potential of Quake. That's multiple options for replacing the high series cards, right? Nebula is probably the second most important high series card in this deck. All good? The reason Nebula is so important is you're running a couple Guardians, and Nebula gives you extra Guardians equity. Now, Ms. Marvel can be Omega Red, and she is the most important high series card. You really want her. Being able to play her and basically guarantee yourself some power is huge in this deck, so strongly consider Ms. Marvel. Iron Lad can be Jubilee. There are issues with Mill and Zemo, otherwise it works just fine as a replacement here. Red Hulk can be Magneto. After Sandman, Magneto is often better than Red Hulk. Red Hulk is, however, free cubes. I think Red Hulk is the card, outside of maybe Hope, it's between the two, that you should most be looking at buying right now with your tokens if you have them. Cool. I think Red Hulk puts a different level of power and gets you free wins because people will run from a Red Hulk that gets big enough and give you the free cubes when it would be close. And people will stay in thinking they can beat Red Hulk and let you play other things. Cool. If they stay in against a Red Hulk that they know is big, that means that they can beat it, which means you should do something else. Now, I think a really cool thing that Battle for Justice messaged me is Sandman is now a tech card. Sandman is now like Shang-Chi. Basically, every deck in the game that's not Hela wants to do multiple things at the end of the game. Some decks just want to slam Red Hulk, but most decks want to play multiple things at the end of the game. By playing a 5/7, you can turn that off. You don't play it unless, you don't play it in a Hela matchup, right? But in against decks that you know want to go wide. If they drop a Sarah, if you know they're a Surfer list, etc., that Sandman is absolutely game winning. They will likely run, so snap before you play it, right? But as soon as you recognize the opponent's deck, Sandman is free cubes, much like Red Hulk, which is part of what makes this deck so successful. So this went from top 400 to 3,000. And what's interesting to me is this has gotten multiple infinites. Different versions of this deck have been played by this player for the past like 5 or 6 seasons, infinite every season. So this is proven this works. Basically, as soon as Ms. Marvel came out, this deck came together. So turn 1, Nebula Blind. If you have Storm, I like that blind mid. If not, I like that blind right. Turn 2, Armor or if you have Storm, I like it right, and if not, I like it mid. Ms. Marvel is the card I'm thinking of. Armor or Jeff are generally better than Star-Lord on turn 2. You want to try and get some value out of Star-Lord later. Turn 3 is Storm. Turn 4 is either Ms. Marvel or 2/2s. Turn 5, Sandman is better than is more or less equal to Ms. Marvel, depending on what the opponent is playing, and those are better than Lad. Turn 6 is Red Hulk or Doom, or Ms. Marvel and a 2. Generally speaking, Jeff. All good. This makes perfect sense to everybody. We make sense. We're happy. You will again lose to Hella with this list, but this list is capable of beating most other things because most other things want to go wide and sort of get slammed in the face by this. Remember that Storm lane. Sometimes you want to get Ms. Marvel down. Sometimes you want to get Ms. Marvel down last turn. But after Storm, if you can drop a Rocket and Star-Lord and they play there, you've just added 11 power to that lane and still had an extra energy. So it's pretty damn good. All right. Questions of the daytime, and then relax. Giveaway is right after these, I promise. Lord Farron wants tips for Conquest as opposed to Ladder. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a series in a playlist that's called Snap Pro Tips, where a bunch of videos for ages, I did a bunch of pro tips, and then I did 2 larger pro tip videos. They have, from Broadway largely, Conquest specific tips in them that are really useful. Please check those out. The reason I'm not giving you a bunch now is because there are a bunch of different cube values that tell you things you should do mathematically to be most successful in Conquest or Battle Mode, as the case may be. And those are very hyper-specific, but they are in that playlist of videos. Stuff asks what a mid-range deck is. So a mid-range deck is a deck that's not built around a specific strategy usually. It's trying to play a bunch of mid-costed good cards. It says, I'm going to play a good tempo game and just win by having more power and answering the things that go over me. Mid-range decks often run a Shang-Chi or an Enchantress as a way to take out opponents' stronger synergies by playing general good stuff. You'll often hear mid-range referred to as good stuff. It's not about, they'll run a package of synergy, right? But the rest of the deck is devoted to just putting out good stats and sort of outpacing people. That last Sandman deck we just looked at, that's a mid-range deck. So are traditional old school like Zabu Darkhawk lists. Good. Jedi Cowboy wants to know if Hela needs a nerf. I don't think Hela needs a nerf. I think that Corvus needs a nerf and Red Hulk need a nerf, and let's see where Hela is after that. Hela doesn't have an especially high win rate. It does have a strong cube rate. What's not fun about Hela for me right now is that it feels like it's often playing solitaire, and I don't enjoy solitaire. Basically, it wins or loses based on what it does, not what the opponent does, and it's a little bit too consistent for that. I don't think Hela especially needs anything changed. I think a lot of the supporting cards, in particular, again, Corvus and Red Hulk, are what are too good. Page M2UK asks if Red Hulk is OP. Yep, he's the best 6 right now. I don't think it's especially close between he and any other card. Thanos would be the other card you would have argued for. Goliath you could have argued for. They're gone. Blob doesn't have a really good deck right now outside of that one Thanos deck that exists. So Red Hulk is OP. He's probably too good. I think the first nerf they try is make him a 6/9 and keep the +4. That is my current guess. They tend to try and reduce the floor while keeping the ceiling for these cards, and I think that change of -2 power, so when he doesn't go over, only goes off once, he's not nearly as good, will do the job. Evas, not Evans, wonders if I watch wrestling. Okay. So I'm a reasonably big AEW fan. I went to All In London, partially because I want to go to London, partially because I thought it was really cool to be at the biggest show ever. I don't enjoy WWE. I haven't in a really long time. It's too stylized, it's too produced, it doesn't feel real to me. Not real, but like, it just, It feels like a TV show about a wrestling show sometimes, and I don't enjoy it. Although, like, I wish them nothing but the best. I don't actually give a shit. Although I hate Vince McMahon. I've hated Vince McMahon forever. Look, the Rita Chatterton thing isn't new. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, neither is the Snuka thing. So, like, I've been out on him as a human being, which made it really, really hard to support the company. I basically gave up around 2014, and I came back for the Daniel Bryan thing because he's one of my favorites ever from ROH. I got really into AEW. I started watching everything. I realized I don't like wrestling enough at this point in my life to watch 3 nights a week or whatever. So I watch Dynamite and I keep up with the other through reading a report, and then I grab the pay-per-views. That's pretty good for me. I'm perfectly happy. Their style is really, really great for me. When WWE was gone pre-AEW, I watched New Japan, I watched ROH. So I'm perfectly happy spending 1 night a week enjoying. I sit there with my son and we watch Dynamite, and sometimes he makes me watch Collision. All right, if you'd like your question read out in tomorrow's video, we don't have any yet for tomorrow's video. Leave one in the comments, please. Giveaway. Okay, if you'd like to win a season pass, you like, sub, and comment this video. There will be a winner picked from the comments of this video, but you have to comment something specific this time, so it's slightly different than usual. You have to comment a creator you found through these videos. It could be from this video, it could be from one of our previous videos. What Marvel Snap content creator, there will be one non-Marvel Snap content creator later this video. What Marvel Snap content creator did you find through these videos? As long as you comment that person's name and explain, write a sentence, right? Then you are entered to win a season pass. We're giving away a season pass on every video from Wednesday, this video, to Sunday. There will be a video every day. The podcast is Saturday. All you have to do is comment a creator you found through these videos on each of them, and you will be entered to win a season pass for this season. Do you have the season pass or not want the season? Well, you can have the gold pass instead. You can stack gold pass. You don't get double gold. Instead, the gold pass just goes out longer, so we don't have that concern. So whichever one you choose, all you have to do is comment. We will have more giveaways to come, including one more this very video. All right, Ika's Pixie Cube Thief is a phenomenal deck. This is the deck I'm currently not necessarily playing those, but having absolutely the most fun with. It's got an answer for an absolute ton of decks. It's incredibly powerful, and I really, really am enjoying it an awful lot. It can put up enough power to compete with most things. If you can get that Professor X lane, you can win another lane, usually thanks to Red Hulk, Red Hulk or She-Hulk and Cannonball, or whatever other nonsense. This deck is awesome. I love it very, very much. All right, so you can find Ika at twitch.tv/Ika _MTS. Ika is currently in the process of a huge move to Canada. We're very excited to have Ika in a time zone that actually works for us. If you would like to watch this deck played, though, twitch.tv/LilRobotus, and I sent this to Robo a couple days ago, and he's in love and playing the crap out of it. Lil Robotus 1, excuse me. All right, Jeff can be Lizard, Medusa, Star-Lord. It doesn't really matter. Jeff is a really good card, but it's just a generic good card here. It is really good for Professor X, and you're losing out on the Professor X value without it. But you'll live. It's not as important here. Echo Nebula can be Iceman, Ham, Korg. You just want a little bit of disruption. Dexter posted this ongoing list yesterday. I don't know, 2 days ago, whatever. Time is a flat circle. But, so Echo's really good again against that. It's sort of hilarious how bad it beats that deck when you time it right. So I like Echo a lot right now again, at least until that dies down in a day or two. Nebula's just really good. All right, Pixie and Mobius are needed. This deck is built specifically for those two cards. Ms. Marvel can be Omega Red, and yes, for realsies this time, Ms. Marvel can be Omega Red. Red Hulk is, I guess, Magneto, but I don't think this deck works nearly as well without Magneto. And Cannonball is actually way better than Chong in this list, but you can make a Chong and be just fine most of the time. All right, Ika rules. He's the most creative deck builder. I know it's between him and Owl God. I love this list. You should absolutely try it if you have the opportunity. All right, turn 1, Nebula is generally better than Sunspot, and that's generally better than Echo. I want to wait on my Echo if possible. Turn 2, Pixie is better than 2/1s is better than Jeff. I like to save my Jeff where possible, and getting down Nebula by turn 2 is the last turn you really want to play that card. Now, the second you play Pixie, the turn order is useless, right? Pixie's going to shake things up and make things weird. Turn 3, if you played Pixie, Mobius is basically over everything, unless they played an Angela, in which case, if you have priority, you want to get Negasonic in that Angela lane, because they're about to play a Hope Summers or a Kitty Pryde or an Elsa, and blowing that up changes the entire tenor of that game. You can play Mobius the turn after. Turn 4, Ms. Marvel, or a 3+1, or honestly just a 3 sometimes, because that'll give you access to the turn 5 She-Hulk, and sometimes if you don't have Professor X or Ms. Marvel, that's what you want to do. Professor X or Ms. Marvel, or just pass on turn 5. And after that Professor X, if it's won the lane, you usually want to drop a Red Hulk to win another lane. Or you can drop She-Hulk, or you can just drop Cannonball if you won the Professor X lane to claim another lane. Cannonball, if you don't have Prio at that point, is like the best damn thing at winning another lane. If you passed, you can go She-Hulk and Cannonball, or She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel. And either one of those are amazing. The She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel play is slept on, but that's 15 power in one lane, 4 in another, and 5 in another. It's pretty damn great. Okay. Please try this list. I don't think you'll regret it. I am, again, completely in love. Also, please note, I bought this Professor X variant. I really like the X-Men uniform on him. So I thought that it was worth having because I think it's cool to have Professor X match his students. Like, for example, both Pixie and Negasonic and Sunspot, who in this deck are wearing different variations of that very uniform. All right, we're at our custom card section. Our keyword was cost, addition, and reduction. We were using rich characters because it was tax day. 4/15 was when this was due. If you'd like to participate in one of these, join Drewberry's Discord, and if you'd like to make your own custom cards, snaptracker.me/custom. The giveaway will be at the end of this custom card section. That's the last giveaway for the day. All right, our first winner is Kerbex, who did a Howard Stark. It was a toss-up between the artist and Kerbex Howard Stark, and I'm going to be honest, it could have gone either way, except the artist has won like 3 freaking weeks in a row, so I decided to go with Kerbex version here. This is a 4/4. On reveal, add a random card to your hand. It costs 0 next turn. Now, that could be something completely useless and unplayable. It could literally be Ebony Maw, or it could be an Infinite, and then you pass 5 and drop 2 Infinites and win the game, right? It could be anything. I think that's really cool and really fun. My issue with this card is not one of design as a truck passes by, excuse me. My issue of this card is not one of design, it's that it feels like a Series 2 or Series 3 card, not a Series 4 or Series 5 card. So if they ever release like a batch of Series 2 or Series 3 cards, I think this would be amazing in that. This has really great synergy with cards like Loki and Devil Dino and decks that work that way. It also works great with cards like Mockingbird. Now, there is a downside, and 4/4 isn't the best stats, and Mobius exists. I think that is really good balancing for this card. I think this is great design. I also really like the theory that Howard Stark will just fund your project. That's what he's doing. That's why he's giving you a free card. He's basically saying, I'm rich. I'm just going to fund your project. Here, take the money. Our next card is from Shazana. Shazana has won in the past. This is a Silver Sable. Silver Sable is a 4/6. At the end of each turn, your opponent discards a card with reduced cost. I love it. They're playing a She-Hulk and skip turn 1. Well, I guess you have to get it down by turn 4. They they play a 3 on turn 4. Goodbye. They want to drop a Sarah. Well, they're going to lose a card at random at the end of that turn. Mockingbird, same thing. But once this is down, right, like they can try and play these cards in advance of it. Death, so on. I love having this kind of counter card. I think it is great, great, great. It's sort of like an alternate take on Mobius. If you don't run Mobius, you can run Silver Sable. Turn 1, this works amazingly with Stature if you have Stature in the deck. It'll also discard an opponent's Stature, so if this becomes meta, it sort of counters itself. There is that deck like Ree's Random Bullshit Go. It's just Ree, phenomenal person, phenomenal streamer. Was on the podcast last week? 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. Has this deck called Random Bullshit Go that runs Moon Knight, Black Bolt, and Silver Samurai. This would go amazingly in that, and it counters the crap out of a lot of great stuff like Sarah, Loki, Death, and or Mockingbird. You'll love to see it. I want this card in the game yesterday. And Shazana also threw in 2 variants. Look at how great these freaking variants are. I want this card. Print this card. Marvel Snap, second dinner. One of my favorites we've ever done here. Way to go. All right, so our keyword for our next custom card challenge and our giveaway is turn-based. The theme is JRPG characters. What does turn-based mean? That's up to you to decide. Don't come asking me. Turn-based, and our theme is JRPG characters. If you'd like to participate, Trueberry's Discord is linked in the description to this video, and you can make cards on snaptracker.me/custom. The due date is next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's always the Monday after the Wednesday video at 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can win a gold pass, which means you're giving away 2 more gold passes because there are 2 winners for this giveaway every week. If you blow me away, we'll do 3. I'm not worried about the extra $5. So if you'd like to win a gold pass, go give me your best JRPG character. This is in honor of Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes releasing next week, because God, am I excited for that game. I love Suikoden. Alright, Rutmus's Top 5 Hawk is the deck I've been waiting to talk to you about, because this deck is freaking brilliant. Rutmus hit top 5 with this. He's currently sitting around 10 last I checked. I am in love with this deck. I think that this deck, when it comes together, is stellar. I feel like it could use one more piece, because if it doesn't see Darkhawk and Annihilus, it can struggle. But it's just so good. It's the deck I would play if what I wanted to do was rock Hela. We'll talk about why as we go. Alright, so Rutmus reached out to me when he hit top 5 and said, you should feature this deck. This deck is really good. For this deck, there are, you need 1 Series 5 card and 1 Series 4 card to make this work. Nebula can be Iceman. You don't even lose a lot in this list. Jeff can be Nightcrawler or Black Widow, and you don't lose a lot because there's no Professor X. You do need Darkhawk and Annihilus. I really want to fit Lady Deathstrike in this, but I can't. So you do need Darkhawk and Annihilus. So this beats Surfer, Destroy, and Hela. So it beats Surfer because the current Surfer builds are often running cards like Wong. And if they run Wong and you run Cosmo, you snap and drop a Cosmo. Enjoy yourself. They don't have enough power to do anything. Sometimes you won't see that, and you'll have to just Shadow King them down. You'll be fine. You don't take priority unless you want to with this deck. Although you can claim priority. Okay, great. How do you beat Destroy? Well, we've got Armor, Cosmo, and Shadow King, so Destroy should be relatively straightforward, right? Even without running Coulson. I'd like Coulson, but he's not important. You can do that. Now, finally, my favorite thing to do with this deck is for turn 6 plays in order to beat Hela. You Juggernaut and Cosmo. Good? They should have a bunch of cards in one lane. That's probably not where they're going to Hela. You need to read if that's where they're going to Hela or not. Cosmo, one lane. Juggernaut, the other. Hela has a chance of going into either of those lanes, fine. If Hela goes into the lane with Cosmo, you just won. If they play Hela in that Cosmo lane, you just won. You have a 66% chance, but slightly greater because one lane is almost full, remember, of winning that game of Marvel Snap. As long as you can claim Prio against a Hela deck, which, let's be completely honest, you should be able to claim Prio against a Hela deck. Largely because you have the Darkhawk package and the Hood Demon package, Hood Void package to try and win that way as well. Now, one more thing you do that helps beat that deck is you put rocks in their deck. If they've got Korg and Rockslide, putting rocks in their deck, they are far less likely to draw all their pieces, draw Hela, etc. And if they don't do that, or they discarded a couple rocks with their Corvus, right? And if they do that, you can just win sometimes any damn way. This deck is a thing of beauty in the meta. I urge you to try it out. Again, you're not going to find this deck anywhere else. Rutmus specifically reached out to us. Thank you so much for that. Alright, so this is currently top 5, as well as 7 and 1 in Gold Conquest, 2 Infinity tickets, and then lost in the last game of the third one. Turn 1, Nebula is generally over Korg over Hood. Turn 2, I like 2 1s over almost anything. Armor is a tech card in this, remember. Over Jeff. Turn 3, Rockslide is generally better than Cosmo, depending on what you're playing, right? Sometimes you also have to get down Cosmo because you have Sentry but no Annihilus, and you'll drop Cosmo and then you'll drop Sentry just fine. So Sentry on turn 4, if not, you'll just drop Cosmo on turn 4, usually, reasonably often. Turn 5, if you've got either the Demon, the Hood, or the Sentry, you drop Annihilus, or you can just drop Darkhawk. Darkhawk's perfectly fine. And then turn 6, Annihilus or Darkhawk are fine, or you can do Juggernaut and Cosmo, Juggernaut and Shadow King, Juggernaut and Hood, and something else. That's how you win the game. This deck is, again, so cool. Remember that you're going to have to think about priority a lot, because against certain matchups, you really want priority. Against Surfer, you want priority for Cosmo. Against Hela, you need priority for the Juggernaut-Cosmo combo, right? Against Destroy, you want to get priority early and then throw it late for Shadow King, so on and so forth. We understand the idea. This is a prio managing deck. As long as you can manage that prio, you will have great success. This is again, a thing of beauty. It even beats frickin' Phoenix Force because it's got the Shadow King armor Cosmo nonsense, right? Like, what are they supposed to do for that? Sometimes against Phoenix Force on turn 3, you see where their multiple man is, and if you have Pry, you just like juggernaut it away and you go, no thank you. This deck has amazing matchups. There's this like package of stuff that this deck does that's really, really hard to interact with and deal with for any kind of combo deck. And because of that, you should be able to do really, really great with it. Dealing with Tribunal, well, if they draw the nut, you're not going to beat them, right? But how do they draw the nut? With 3 rocks in their deck, and then you juggernaut their onslaught away from their Iron Man, and you've got a shot, right? Like, this deck just, and then if you can get a Hood or a Demon over there, you're in really great shape. A Hood or a Void there. This deck is great. I love it. Play it. You'll be happy you did. It's going to take gameplay, so use your brain. Come ready. All right, certain tiers of support. Remember, we have a special message at the end for any of you interested. It's not a giveaway, it's just a thought. We have our Patreon thanks. The $10 tier on Patreon, our most loyal and ardent supporters. Thank you so much. Get special thanks on Patreon in every video if you'd like to be one. That link is on the next video. We've got Abigail Giesland, Mandatory Burnout, Cables, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, LAB, Fathor Newman. Check him out on YouTube. Good Dog Gamer, Inc., Jay Navarrete, JD McDonaldino. Check him out on Twitch. Kierdix Lee, Koirei. Thank you so much. Koirei just built something cool for us too. Pyrophoros, The Goat Seeker, the homie Denman Falcon, who's doing really great shorts. Doku, Philip Ratkovich, awesome decks and playing. Haplo, Kenny Loggins, living in that danger zone. Rob Silverman, Juan Diego Lebed, The Bizza, Xworth V, Skippy G, Tommy Nyquist, Black Dahlia, The Great Kazoo, Jessica Gamble, Ryan Wood, Kev Sihora, see, Kev, got you. Mod Supreme Models, Hoot, Matt H, DJ Mikey Hijinks, No Flex, Ocularis, Craig Sterry, Pretty Chill, Seamus, how you doing, bud? Spike Jones, again, doing really cool, interesting videos. Two Ties, The Pirate King, Tucker, check him out on Twitch and YouTube. The Homie Min, Rito in Disguise on Twitch, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for I appreciate you all so frickin' much. All right, final thoughts are coming at the end. I don't think I've ever given you 4 decks I like more than this. This is like 4 of my favorite decks. I was going crazy trying to pick 3, and I was like, you know what? We're doing the special today. I was trying to figure out when it was right to do the special. It was a whole thing. This is the special. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that sub button if you haven't, if you watched, if you enjoyed. I'd greatly appreciate any support in helping us grow. If you'd like to do more, $1 on the Patreon gets you access to all of our exclusive tournaments, including the Snap Judgments League, the biggest league in Marvel Snap. $5 tier gets you early access to each and every video. And the $10 tier, well, Roy and I are recording an exclusive podcast for it in addition to all the other stuff that happens there. So make sure you check that out if you want an exclusive podcast from me and Roy. That'll be tomorrow. And one more thing. All right. So I've been out with appendicitis. I've been home a lot, which means I had time to read. And like, God, do I love reading. But who has time anymore, right? Life is busy. What amounts to 3 full-time jobs at this point? 4 if you want to count parenting, which is not a job, and I don't love that correlation between capitalism and family. But I have 3 full-time jobs and a family that I love very much. I don't have a lot of time to read. I've been home with appendicitis, so I beat a video game and I'm reading a book, which is just like, oh my God, amazing for me, right? So I'm reading a book. The book is right here. It's literally right here. It's Before We Go Live. It's from Stephen Flavel, who many of you might know better as Jorbs. And I like Jorbs a lot, so when he announced he was writing a book, I believe in supporting creators, right, obviously. So I bought Jorbs' book. And in it, Jorbs has this paragraph at the end of like a random chapter. It's chapter 3. It's page like 47 or so, where he just describes what he thinks his calling is. And it really spoke to me. It speaks to me like 1,000% as a teacher. It feels exactly the way I feel about teaching, but it's a lot of what I want my content to be and what I'm working on and I'm hoping for. So I wanted to share it with you. I'm not going to bring this up all the time. Any big milestones or anniversaries, though, I think it's important that this centers me in my content and helps me come back to what I think is important. So I'm going to read this to you, and then we're going to end the video. Cool? But as an adult, I worked out that my real calling, the thing I wanted most, was to be a boat. Which obviously doesn't make sense. People can't be boats. But we don't quite have the right words for what it is when a person is a boat yet, so it's the best I've got. I want to be a vessel for the excellence of others. I want to carry them to a place where they belong, and provide shelter in the harbor for them when they need to rest. I want to endure storms, and heat, and cold, while they are comfortable and safe below deck. I am not so much the captain as I am its all. Peace. See you tomorrow.